Hello, I will be explaining how to survive stages 7 and 8 in vMA, no death, and I'll be explaining them. So this is stage 8. This is my least favorite of the stages, probably the most dangerous stage by itself because of the RNG involved with the poison flowers. That's the main thing to watch out for here. All these mob early stages are pretty self-explanatory, so I'm just going to fast forward through these venom collars here that appear in the corners, like that one that I just killed. Those are also quite dangerous, so you got to focus those whenever they pop up. And then lastly, archers are the most dangerous of the normal mobs here. The venom collars will spawn lots of those little poison flowers, so you got to kill them before they just cover the whole arena with it. So the archers have a few dot attacks, as well as a one-shot charged up arrow shot. This wMA is actually kind of dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. Don't stand too close to it, because it has a pretty powerful close range attack, but other than that, you can just range it down. Make sure you're casting shields often. On a Megplar you can passive heal with a lot of things, like your sweeps. I'm using Ritual Retribution as well. So this part with the 3 archers is actually a common place to die, because the archers are just kind of in sync and hard to deal with all at once. If you have to, you can take the shield sigil and just clear that. On a flawless run, I probably would take the shield. Yeah, I usually like to play it safe and just like get through the difficult areas with the sigils I need and just kind of say fuck the score, because I'm probably going to make the leaderboard either way. It doesn't really matter about my max score. So the final boss is pretty straightforward. It's just kind of like a dummy. You gotta DPS down. He has a few strong attacks. That one that he just did right there, where he slams you with his fist, it stuns you and then he takes a bite out of you, so you gotta block that as soon as you break free from his stun. These mages here, you gotta keep one around if you want. You don't have to, and you can DPS down the boss while he's doing this little thing while you're safe in the dome. But alternatively, you can just interrupt the boss and stop him from doing that. But if you hide in the dome, you get like a little bit of extra free DPS time. And the venom collar that spawned while he was doing his yell died, so you don't have to worry about venom collars while he's screaming his lungs out there. So for this final bit, I can just use Radiant Glory, probably, to heal myself while killing him. Very straightforward boss, but this stage is only really hard because of the random ways you can die. Like stage 5 is difficult, yeah, but if you figure out the mechanics, you'll never die there again. But here, no matter how many times you do it, there's still a chance you'll die just from a random flower spawning. So this is stage 8. This is I think the easiest stage, other than maybe one of the first 2 or so. Maybe even easier than the second stage because there's less RNG. There's a couple areas where you can get one shot or get into a little bit of trouble, even in the mob stages or rounds. Actually, the earlier rounds are more dangerous than the final boss for this one. This is the easiest final boss in the arena, probably, other than the first one, of course, which is just a little practice dummy. So there are a couple of different mages in this stage that are dangerous. There are the healers and the battle mages that kind of just shoot fire at you. They have a little flame wheel above their head and they channel you, and that's pretty dangerous. These bosses are not dangerous. You just have to destroy the totem that is put together at the time when a boss appears. And the enemies are generally pretty squishy. Honestly, you probably don't need to use an ult at all in the stage until the last couple rounds. So this Magplar I'm playing on does have Flawless already. So I can get any round. Or I could even upload the whole Flawless run if you guys want. So this will be the last of the non-boss rounds, and this boss is actually, I think, tougher than the final boss, just because she does this like chain that pulls you in, and she drops a standard that does a lot of damage. But honestly, like if you take the shield sigil, you'll just beat this boss in like 2 seconds, like I just did. Like I just figured I wouldn't mess around with her because she can like flame whip you and stuff like that. For this boss, it's invincible until you destroy all the pillars. You just put dots on all of them and then destroy one pillar and then get your dots ready for when she goes into her little migraine headache. You will probably never need a sigil here. Like if you're doing flawless run, I might take the damage one just to beat her before she even, like, just so you don't have to do this a second time, essentially. Just DPS her down all in one go. Or if your DPS is kind of low in general and you can't get her past halfway in the first run, then you should probably use the sigil. But anyways, this has been stages 7 and 8. Hope you enjoyed.